Mm. All right, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Brown Girls Are Beautiful. I'm your melanated queen and your hostess, Lil Foxy, aka Seven Wonder. Thank you for joining us tonight. We do have a special guest in the house by the name of Hollywood Spryte from Veracity ExchangeTV. Okay, y'all stay tuned in because he be going in, y'all. He be dropping them gems. From those of y'all out there who is not familiar with them, go follow him. He's going to be the next up and coming. And I'm telling y'all don't want to miss this. It's Veracity Exchange TV. Scrolling at the bottom of the TV screen, y'all. We just talking about real topics, okay? Real topics with your girl, BGAB. Brown Girls Are Beautiful, Little Foxy. And again, we got Hollywood Spryte in the house. What's up, Spryte?
Hey, what's up? What's up? What's up?
Say hi to the people so they can hear you. What you got going on?
Hey, what's going on, beautiful people? I ain't doing too much, eating some fruit right now, ready to get into it.
Is it okay if I make the special announcement of your new edition?
Oh, yeah. Got a beautiful baby girl born December 2nd, 8:07 p.m. You know, she's 4 days on this earth right now, and I really appreciate that.
Special spirit in the house,
got
y'all.
Got a new love in my life.
Yeah. I didn't know she was born on the 2nd. I thought she was born on the 3rd.
No, on the 2nd. She was born on the 2nd.
Gotcha. So what have you been up to this week?
Oh, man, not too much. Just getting things ready with the baby and working on getting everything together with this podcast. Just ordered a new computer and things like that. I'm just waiting to get everything set up so I can start going live with these jive turkeys.
Look, I'm excited for you. And I am because look, let me tell y'all why. Let me tell you why I'm excited for him. So when he called me and told me he was about to do a podcast, I contained myself, right? Because I keep myself well composed. But over the course of the years, y'all, this is one of the most profound individuals in the way that he converses with you. So a lot of people might look at him and be like, oh, he ain't talking about nothing because, I'm just going to make this announcement. He does rap. He got his mixtape, y'all. He can go in. Okay. So from outside of the music realm, he is also a very well-spoken individual full of, I want to say some, pretty solid knowledge. And one of the few that I actually have a discourse with that mentally can stimulate me, okay, as an individual. And I don't really take time out of my day to entertain people if they don't mentally stimulate me. So you're going to love his podcast, y'all. He has a natural knack, a natural gift, and a natural talent for what he does. And he's going to have all sorts of surprises for you all. So y'all make sure y'all tune into that. All right. So without any further ado, Spryte, Mr. Hollywood himself.
AKA Brilliant.
AKA Brilliant. I wanted to ask you what actually got you on the pathway to starting your podcast?
You know, the older I got, I started looking at, who I was as a person. And I've always, the funny thing about it, let me get into it. I don't like people, but people like me. And a lot of people like to hear what I got to say. I'm not really a people person, but I do help people, if that makes sense. I got to have to help the right people. You know what I'm saying? It's,
right.
It's weird. I speak to a certain group of people. I put it that way. What's understood don't got to be explained.
Absolutely.
I don't speak for everybody. I speak my truth, and I feel like the truth of the people that are around me, they understand where I'm going with it. You know what I'm saying? And my best friend used to tell me before she passed away that I should start my own podcast. Like, that was one of the things. She told me I was good at speaking and good at talking, and I need to speak more. Mm-hmm. And my biggest thing was I didn't like people. I'm like, I know how fake people are. I'm not a fan of humans. I'm just being honest with you. I'd rather have a house full of animals. You know what I'm saying? Your dog can be loyal to you to the end. When it comes to people, you just don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my God. So okay, let's get into that.
Your cat, your pet snake or whatever. People scared of animals, but I'd rather have a house full of animals. I'd rather live in a zoo than live in a facility with 200 people.
Let's get into that. When you say you don't like people, I can relate. And my sister has said the same to me many, many times. What do you mean you don't like people?
I mean, the characteristics that people have, man, is we all human. You know, we all make mistakes, but like I said, in this world, people will tell you whatever you want to hear. You know what I'm saying? And the average person is a follower. You know what I'm saying? The average person, the quote unquote normal person, is a follower, and they don't think for themselves. You know what I'm saying? And if you think outside of the box, or you do anything for yourself, you'll be looked at as a weirdo because you're outside of the norm. You know what I'm saying? And they teach you that being normal is a good thing. But the way that I look at things is I don't consider being normal a good thing. I believe normal is you dumbing yourself down to fit into these social settings. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like I said, I teach my son to be weird. I'm like, go be weird. You know, people gonna talk about you. They're gonna do this and they're gonna do that. But at the end of the day, they saying what they saying about you because they can't do it. You know what I'm saying? Because they live in fear of being criticized by other people.
Fact. So what do you think that people classify as weird?
Repeat that one more time.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. What do you think people classify as weird?
Well, weird is just standing on your own. I mean, if you're an introvert, you're considered weird. If you like being to yourself, you're considered weird. If you dress outside of the quote unquote norm, you're considered weird. If you see things in a different light, you're considered weird. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, the funny thing about it, when you think about the quote unquote greatest people to ever achieve, you know, like the highest achievements in life that we would consider to be some of the greats, those people were considered weird. So I don't know why the word weird is such a bad thing. But like some people can't even put on clothes without saying like, oh man, I can't wear this outfit because that's not in style. That's weird. That's considered really being weird. Like that's not normal. You should be able to wear what you want to wear. But normal people gotta dress to fit in. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Normal people gotta buy a car because that's the new car to get. So a weird person is like, oh man, oh man, he weird, man. That dude got that old car. He got that. Man, my car getting me from point A to point B. You know, I'm not out buying a new car. I'm not buying clothes. I'm not buying jewelry and all of these things. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Something's wrong with you if you're not doing that. But they don't understand that they living in a program. The people that are quote unquote normal, they just living in a program.
What do you mean by program?
It was designed. The program was designed from birth. You know what I'm saying? They teach you all of these things from birth to make you fit into the structures of the society that they want you to live. And if you don't live by those rules and you don't believe in, you know, when you stop believing in Christmas and all of these type of things, you realize all of this is just a scam and a scheme to get money from you. You look at it as weird. If people look, oh, you don't celebrate Christmas? You don't celebrate Thanksgiving? You don't celebrate this? Like, you're a weirdo. But in reality, they're the weirdos. You know what I'm saying? You know, you think about Valentine's Day.
Right.
I'm not gonna get into the behind the scenes on Valentine's Day. We're not getting into the history of Valentine's Day, but just we're gonna speak on the basis of what people know it as.
Right.
You can be with a woman or a man for 365 days out of the year, you know, so it'll be 364 taking away Valentine's Day.
Right.
And you don't do something for that person on that one particular day, you're a piece of shit. You know what I'm saying? You don't love your partner. You don't love your man. You don't love your husband. You don't love your wife. You know what I'm saying? They didn't get to post that shit on social media.
Right.
That's the normal person. Those are normal people that feel like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm the weird person that say, like, I don't feel like we should pay sit in line for 2 hours to go out to dinner for Valentine's Day. I don't feel like that. Me buying you a dozen roses for $150 is worth it when I can get them same roses tomorrow for $20. You know, but you're the weirdo because you don't follow that rule. You don't go by that code.
Okay, so you're saying that there is an expectation that has been placed upon us by society that says we're supposed to basically meet these criteria because this is what they put in place. That's their expectation.
Oh, yeah. These people don't think for themselves. Like I told you, most people don't think for themselves. They don't. I mean, we can prove this all day, every day. We can go outside. If I was where you're at right now, we can go outside and just ask 20 people questions, and you realize that answers were already programmed and given to them before they respond. I can tell a person what their answer going to be before they even say it.
Give an example of that. I want to hear this.
Well, I mean, we could. I'm not going to really get into like let's just say artists, but let's just say even when it comes to music, let's just say we have popular artists. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna say any names. You know, but we have popular artists that may be like great dancers and great entertainers or great whatever. And if you speak out about these certain artists, which is it's maybe like 30 other people that might sing better than that artist, or maybe somebody who dances better than that artist. But since that artist was placed in front of them with all of this marketing and promotion and all of the glitz and the glam, you can't tell people that this other artist sing better than that person. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
And you can't. You already know that they're gonna say, "Oh, nah. He ain't touching her or he ain't touching him."
Right.
And they don't know that they're saying that because marketing told you to say that. You're not basing that off of the ear.
Yeah.
You're basing it off of what you see. It's the smoke and mirrors, it's the illusion.
Yeah, I can see that. I definitely can see that.
I mean, right now, I could put myself on Instagram right now. Put money behind myself, market myself, promote myself. You know, a lot of people don't know, people pay for likes, people pay for views, people do a lot of these things. You put the bag behind yourself, you look bigger than life. You know, people just seeing what they see and they're like, oh man, he's doing it big. Not knowing that you just dropped $5,000 to make yourself look like that.
That is true.
You know what I'm saying? So when somebody see me, they can say, oh, he's doing it big. Then you look at the next person who might really be doing more than what I'm doing, but they don't have the image that I have.
True.
You know what I'm saying?
So image is everything.
Image is everything. That's all it's about, image.
So people's like I always say this, and I have spoken about this before on my channel. Perception is the new reality. Perception is the reality of the world. Like
Instagram show you that every day.
Yeah.
I see broke people on Instagram every day. Just fly. And people go, oh, hey, bro, getting money. That bro been showing you the same $100, the same $1,000 for the last month.
You think
all you seeing is $1,000 in the picture. So you're like, oh man, he always showing money. That's the same money.
But I would say this, like, okay, for the people that flash money on Instagram, to me, it's like you got to show people what you have. That means you're not used to having anything. That's how I look at it.
Well, that's a fact too. That's a fact. I don't really knock people. Well, I mean, I'm not gonna say if I show money, I don't really believe in flashing money. But I do understand not having nothing and getting something and being excited about it. But the people who a lot of times people use that to overcompensate, you know, other things that are going on.
Oh, definitely.
You know
yeah, I agree with that all day.
But I don't knock the celebration of a person who, let's just say if a person, you know, really came from nothing or grew up in the country, whether you grew up in the city, the project, or you grew up in the country or whatever.
Yeah.
And you made it to a certain point and you wanted to flex a little bit, I'm going to give you that right to do that. But a lot of these people that's doing that, they're not doing it for that reason. They're doing it to look a certain type of way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely. I can see that. So with all that being said, so what would you say, like, it's not really worth to prove to outsiders all that you have to put on display? Like, you think that's unnecessary?
Oh no, don't prove nobody nothing. Just do what you want to do. What's the point of proving something to somebody when you can't win anyway? It's a lose-lose situation. if you don't prove it to them, you're a failure. If you prove it to them, you still ain't good enough. So it really don't matter.
So it's no winning.
Somebody's still gonna be better. You know, like I said, you know what you're doing with your clothing line, and even by you having your podcast. You know, her podcast ain't hitting on nothing. Okay, cool. Your podcast take off. Then well, her podcast ain't like such and such podcast. You're never gonna win.
Not to the people, no.
So I'm gonna tell you, and I'm gonna say it like this. You know, you can please this up, but fuck people, man.
Right.
Do what you want to do. Be weird. You know, step out on the limb. Just, you know, be yourself. The only way you can truly attain success in life is being yourself. You can't be nobody else. And if you live for other people, you're gonna lose every time. I guarantee you. I'll take bets right now. And if you do and live for other people, you're gonna lose every time.
I definitely can attest to that. And I wholeheartedly 100% support that phrase, what you just said. That along with the other phrase, pay attention to your circle before they hurt you, man. I love that.
Yeah, no, that's true. And like I said, yeah, that phrase from Hassan Campbell, like I said, I check out Hassan Campbell. Like I said, I'm not a big fan of everything that he does, but at the end of the day, I do watch his platform, and he said a lot of real shit. And that phrase from him, pay attention to your circle before they hurt you, that's one of the realest phrases that I've heard in a long time. And like I told people, like my phrase, when you reach out to give a person a hand, you got two options. You know what I'm saying? They either gonna pull you down or you gonna pull them up. And you hoping that you pull them up, but most of the time they're gonna pull you down. They're gonna drag you down with them.
Wow.
Wow. So sometimes you just gotta, I'm sorry to say it like this, but sometimes you gotta let motherfuckers drown.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You gotta let them save themselves. People gotta save themselves.
Right.
And when you save yourself, you have more respect for yourself by saving yourself. When somebody else saves you every time, it's like giving a person a crutch. You know what I'm saying? You gotta let them drown sometimes. You gotta let people drown. The way that I became, who I am today is I had to drown a few times. You gotta drown. You gotta learn how to swim. You know what I'm saying? I can't keep throwing you a life raft. I threw you 5 life rafts. Now you gotta get it from the mud.
Okay, so I want to ask you about that because you said that you've had to save yourself a couple of times, more than a few in your lifetime.
I'm still saving myself today. You know what I'm saying? And that's what makes you tough. That's where the true grit comes from. Saving yourself. Stand on your own. Go through the process.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? When you fail, you brush yourself up and you try again. Don't keep looking for help.
Yeah.
If you don't know something, we live in the information era. I don't know a lot of shit, you know what I'm saying? But I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
The things that I do talk about, I know. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But we live in the information age where everything is online. You don't have to ask a person nothing. As long as you know how to read, you can piece this shit together. It's not rocket science.
Right. So you basically come from that mindset of stand on your own too, basically.
Oh yeah, you got to stand on your own.
Now I want to ask.
One of the biggest phrases of my childhood was when Pac said, "God bless the child that can hold his own." You know, so you got to be able to hold your own in this world.
That's true.
Because if you can't hold your own, nobody else gonna hold you up.
You got that right. That's very true. Now, would that narrative be the same between? Okay, so definitely for guys, you would definitely want them to be able to do that. Would you say that's the same for females as well? They should have that same mentality, that same mindset.
Oh yeah, my mindset goes, for male or female.
Across the
females
board.
Should do the same thing. I mean, I don't look at male and female. We all humans. You see what I'm saying? I don't really, for instance, like I said, I just had my daughter. I got a son. My son's 17. I just had my daughter. Everybody's like, "Oh, your daughter gonna change you. You're gonna be different. You're gonna be different." And the truth of the matter is, I'm not gonna be different because I never looked at boy or girl. It's just the human experience. So when I speak on things, I speak on the human experience. I don't care about the sex of the individual.
Right.
So my daughter's gonna get the same knowledge that I gave my son.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely. Because you don't want to handicap her.
Yeah.
I get that.
I'm not gonna give you well, you a girl and nah, we're not doing that. I'm talking to her the same way I talk to my son. The same game I gave him, I'm gonna give her. You know what I'm saying? When you start breaking down, it's gonna be different. You're a boy, you a girl, and then when you start doing that, you start, like you say, handicap people because words are spells, and what you tell people as a youth, they take that with them when they get older. You know what I'm saying? And if you tell them they can't do something, or you tell them they should do it this way, or since you're a woman, this is how a woman should be, then they're going to remember, oh, my dad told me women should blah, blah, blah. I'm not having those type of conversations with my daughter. I'm giving her game on how to be successful in life. You know what I'm saying? How to succeed in life, how to step outside of the box, how to get to where you need to be without doing a lot of this other stuff that other people do. And that's the same thing I teach my son.
Right.
It's the same conversation.
I definitely respect that. That's, you know what? And now that you said it, that's a whole different mindset and perspective. I don't think I've really ever heard anybody say that, that I can think of.
I'm going to be honest. I haven't heard anybody neither. And I got a lot of male friends and they got daughters. And that's something we touch on. And they swear, they're like, I'm telling you, I'm like, bro, I'm different. You know what I'm saying? It's not about the sex of the individual. I don't look at my son and look at my daughter. I look at my kids. You know what I'm saying? I look at them as humans. I'm looking at them as teaching them the human experience of which you're going to go through the trials and tribulations. You know what I'm saying? The failures and the triumphs. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to give them different avenues of the possibilities that, you know, by the choices that you choose in life where you can end up. You know, that I'm just giving them a basic form, but I'm not going to break down, you know, as far as this sex and that sex, because we all have the human experience, and that's why we all bump heads and we all end up in these situations, because we start separating ourselves from being human, and we talk about male and female, we talk about race, black, white, Latino, Hispanic. Man, it's just a human experience. That's all that matters.
You know, there are going to be people to be like, oh, you know, you said there's no difference between the races, but there is, because we got all this.
I mean, well, let me touch on that. Truthfully, first of all, I don't give a fuck what them people got to say. But I will say that it is a difference. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I would be an idiot to say it's not a difference. We know where we at. You know what I'm saying? But what's understood, like I told you in the beginning of the podcast, I speak for a certain type of people, and what's understood don't got to be explained. So for those people that sit there and be like, oh, he said it ain't no different, I'm not speaking for the people anyway. You know what I'm saying? We know where we at.
Right.
We know where we live. You know, we're in America.
Right.
You know, I live in Virginia. We know what's going on. So yeah, we know it's a difference, but that still don't mean that you can't be successful. That still don't mean that you can't make it. That still don't mean that you can't come up.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
I know, those are all
about
facts.
Thinking. It's about using your brain. You know what I'm saying? And if you can outthink an individual, I don't care if they're white, black, Hispanic, or whatever. Like whatever, if you can outthink an individual, you're gonna win. You know what I'm saying? You just got to think 10 steps ahead of the next person.
Yeah.
It's a game. It's a game. You just got to think 10 steps ahead of the next person. And that's what I mean by it doesn't matter about sex or it doesn't matter about color. If you can strategically put yourself in place and think ahead. Like when I talk to people, like I said, I already have my answers of what you're gonna say before you say it. So I'm already ahead of you. See what I'm saying? I'm already ahead of you. So I'm on the third question while you still answering the first question. I already got you lined up before you even get there. So when you think you're taking the path, I already gave you a path. You just don't know you're walking my path.
I got you. Yeah, that's a very interesting perspective. And you've always had a very different outlook than the average individual. Interestingly. And I know that you probably, with the things that you have said, have made a lot of people angry or upset with you because of what you have said. But along with you saying these things, they come from a sense of experience. And that's something that you can't teach sometimes, just to be profound.
Right.
These things are.
Well, no,
yeah, go ahead.
No, that's true. You can't. A lot of shit that I say fly over people's heads because a lot of people didn't experience what I experienced. You see what I'm saying? So if you haven't been through a lot, you can't speak on a lot. I don't speak on opinions and just throw them in the air because opinions don't matter without facts.
That's right.
The stuff that I say is stuff that really happened and stuff that I've been through and stuff that I've seen. I don't just throw shit in the air and hope somebody catch it. That's why I say I speak to a crowd of people that understand exactly what I'm saying. You know, I don't have to break it down for them. I've been every person under the sun. I've been a good person. I've been a bad person. You gotta go through life and experience all facets and all sides of life to find balance. You gotta play both sides of the fence to find balance. If you're too good or you too bad, your shit gonna end up you end up in a fucked up situation. You gotta play the middle ground. You gotta know when the shit go left, how to go left. You gotta know when the shit go right, how to go right. You know what I'm saying? So you got to play both sides of the fence. You got to play offense and defense.
You got to be real strategic. Yeah, in this life, definitely duality. Because I know
it's an on switch and it's an off switch. You know, it's a dark, it's a light, it's a up, it's a down, it's a left, it's a right. You got to have balance. Everything got balance. East, west, north, south. Everything is balanced.
Everything is balanced. Everything is balanced, y'all. Yeah, that is a very good point that you bring up. So with that, in your lifetime, what can you say? What do you think is something that you could say that was out of balance in your lifetime?
Was something that I could say was out of balance? Give me that question in another phrase so I can make sure I understand what you're asking.
Okay. So, you said that everything has balance. There's polarity. There's north, south, up, down, east, west, hot, cold, all these things. And basically, we exist because we're male, female. There has to be balance. So, without one, you can't have the other. So, do you ever think there was a point in time in your life where something was thrown off balance um, that caused a certain ripple effect because the balance was not there?
For me, I really can't say that I've experienced anything that was unbalanced, but I do know that unbalance most of the time comes from not being true to yourself and following the program that was given to you. So the only way to truly find balance is by being yourself and following your gut, following your intuition, following your instincts. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Following them funny feelings that you get, you got to trust that. You know what I'm saying? That's where the true balance comes. When you got a natural balancing system. You know, if you're in a situation and you're dealing with somebody and something in the back of your mind say, hey man, this person ain't right. They're trying to balance you out, like get the hell from that situation. You know what I'm saying? But the program will teach you, like I said, from birth, we all programmed. You put these commercials with, whether your grandparents or people just in general, everybody is giving you information to make you become whatever they want you to become. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you don't really have a freedom of thought and a freedom of choice until you get to a certain age. But like I said, when you find that freedom within yourself, you're always going to have balance.
That is true. So I think we got a lot of imbalanced individuals walking around right now as grown adults today. When you really think about it.
Well, as far as, I think there's a lot of imbalanced people, but they're imbalanced because they don't know truly who they are. Like I told you, the average person is a follower. They're imbalanced because they're a follower. They're not being true to themselves. You see what I'm saying? And they don't know how to be themselves because being yourself, you don't fit into society as easy as the person being normal. So some people rather put their pride and their self to the side to fit in. They just want to fit in.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They want to be accepted. They want to be invited to these get these invitations to these parties and these gatherings and these, all of this stuff. Like for me, I don't need none of that.
Right.
I don't care about none of that. You don't have to call me. You don't got to invite me to nothing. And if you did invite me, I probably wouldn't come because I might fuck with you, but I might not fuck with the energy of the other people that's there because I'm big on energy. So I probably wouldn't come anyway.
I feel you on that.
So you got to protect your energy, and that's what I said when it comes with balance. I know for me, if I'm being invited to something, I'm not going to come because I'm invited. I got to feel the energy from it. You know what I'm saying? I got to feel comfortable to even go to that establishment or that environment. And like I said, you got to be true to yourself. So I'm not going to leave my house guessing like, man, I don't know, maybe I shouldn't go, and then I'll go. I'm going to stay home. My balance is telling me, hey, man, no, don't do that. I always follow my gut.
Right. Definitely.
But most people can't do that because they're like, oh, man, I invite you to my party, you ain't come, or I did this and did this, we invite, and they feel bad because, oh, man, I let my friend down. Man, fuck your friend. Your friend will let you down 100 times. Man, he'll be all right.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Most of these people ain't your friends anyway. And truthfully, if you got more than 5 friends, you're living wrong anyway because in this lifetime, if you got more than 5 friends, you're not living right. You're probably out of balance.
Oh,
God. You don't have 1 or 2 real friends in your life. That's a fact. Like, you don't have 1 to 2 real friends in your lifetime that's going to be with you. No rain, sleet, hail, storm. They side by side with you. If you got more than 5, you're trying to fit in. You fucked up in the game.
Oh, yeah.
People not your friends.
No doubt. I agree with you on that. Like, and that's the thing. I can tell you, I've never been a person that went around and flocked in a whole crowd of people. I've always been a loner in my life as well. Even back like in elementary school, all the way throughout into adulthood. I've never had to be like in a big crowd of people. And for some reason, that just never was me. It never was that. But when people knew, like when they really wanted some real insight, they knew who to call, if I could put it that way. They wouldn't go to the people that was they're not going to go to the people you see them flocking around with in the crowd. But if they really want to have a real conversation on the side, off behind the scenes somewhere, they know where to come.
That's a fact. I mean, like I told you, I speak from experience. We used to go out, man, 30, 40 deep, 30, 40, 50 deep. I mean, we would go to a club sometime, and it's just us in the club. It feels like it's just us because it's so many of us. But, you know, years and years later, but when you look at the situation, I don't talk to any of those people. You can't have 50 friends. It don't work like that. You can't have 20 friends. Those people, a lot of people are there just for the ride, you know what I'm saying? And they're there for the situation. That's like I said, and I'm speaking about when I was younger. We all want some type of social acceptance, you know, so I can't say I was like this my whole life because you're trying to find your way in this world.
Right.
But I know I always felt different than a lot of people, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I did go out in the crowd, I did mingle, and I started saying like, hold up, man, something ain't right. Because the truth of the matter is when I started calling people for real life situations, they never came through for me. So that's when I had to start stepping back, like, hold on, why am I going out with all of these people? Why I'm hanging with all of these people and I can't even get a ride to work. You know, I'm 20 years old. Maybe my car broke down or something like that. You can't even take me to work because you're my homeboy.
Oh, man. Like, yeah, that's messed up.
You're my friend, though. You know, you're my right hand. I can get a ride down the street.
That's messed up. But y'all can go to the club.
When I got older, I realized these people, you're going to have one or two friends that you can call, whether it's 1 in the morning, 5 in the morning, you know, 6 in the evening, whatever time you call them, they're going to pick up and be like, hey, man, you good? You straight? As long as it be very few, they do that.
Right, that's true. Excuse me, I'm drinking this water.
I don't care how people take it. If you got more than 5 friends, you need to reevaluate.
Reevaluate your life, y'all. So look, I'm going to ask you this. So, you know, like when we be seeing like the entertainers, when they come, you know, to these different areas, different cities and stuff, just like take for instance, did you watch the versus battle with Bone and 3-6?
Yeah, man, shout out 3-6 Mob. I actually did a song with Gangsta Boo, man.
Oh man, look, and this is totally off subject, but I'm gonna get back on in a second. When Gangsta Boo got up on stage, I thought about you because I remember you. Look, when you Brandon, excuse me, Spryte came to mind. Hollywood Spryte came to mind, y'all.
I'm a big 3-6 fan. I was a Bone fan too. You know what I'm saying? I was a Bone fan, how many fan. But when I grew up, like I was one of the first people, like in my area, to even listen to 3-6. People thought I was crazy because you know, here in Richmond is mixed. It's like the South and the North. You got people from New York, you got people from the South. But at that time, a lot of people were still on the Biggies, the Wu-Tang, the Pops. You know what I'm saying? And I'm coming with this set the club up music, you know, and they looking like, bro, what the hell is that? You know what I'm saying? But I just always had an ear for music, and they always touched me like that. That's you know, that's my group. Now that I'm older, I want to touch on this real quick too. Now that I'm older, I do want to say that was part of the programming as well, though, just to keep it 100. When I say we are programmed from birth, when you're young, I took a lot of that in. You know, 3-6 was a big influence on my life, so that was a part of the reason we was out 20, 30 deep. When Tear the Club Up came on, we tore the club up. You know what I'm saying? We was fighting, we was doing all kinds of things. So it's like that was a condition in the program about hip hop. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So now that I'm older, I can separate the music from the reality. You know what I'm saying? But when you're young, you think everything you hear on these songs, you know what I'm saying? And not stand 3-6 because I know that background story. They really live like that. But a lot of that stuff will influence you to do certain things. You see what I'm saying? And if you're not, a lot of people got messed up. The 3-6 Mafia. Let's put it that way.
Oh yeah, I can believe it. Look, because music is very influential, especially for people that are in their early 20s or teenage years, because they are not really separating reality from the art. You know what I mean? So it's basically what you.
I mean, people teach you. Like even today, you look at like a lot of, you know, with the killing and things that's going on now. You know what I'm saying? We back in that time we fought. You know, it wasn't really a whole bunch of shooting, you know, going on. You know, people got shot here and there, but that was like that was, you know, not the norm. Today, that's the norm, but that's what the music is telling us. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of drill music, there's a lot of kill music, and you got the youth listening to that, and they're taking it in their mind that, man, these people doing it, that's what I want to do. And when you hear it all, they kill, you will want to go kill something. You know, that's just like if you hear a song all day that said love, 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 you're gonna want to love stuff. You know, it's all mental.
So with that being said,
but back to the bone. What was you saying about the bone and 3-6?
So the verses, okay. So I watched the whole thing, and I thought it wasn't gonna be that good, but hey, I was getting hyped to it. Now I did see where I think it was Busy Bone. Was that the one that got that? Okay. I wanted to talk about the entourage on the stage because we just talked about if you got 5 or more friends, you ain't doing something right. You rolling too deep, right? Did you see the amount of people that they had on both sides of that stage?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I understood it. Like I said, it's a different culture and a different vibe. Even though they came together for a good cause. You know, in the 90s, they were a rival. It was almost like Gucci Mane and Jeezy. A lot of people don't know the background, but 3-6 and Bone, they used to be like a real rival.
I didn't know that. I did not know that.
I think that's why, you know, they had both sides that way. I'm assuming. I can't say because, you know, I wasn't there and I don't know both sides and why it was set up that way, but I do know at one point in time they had problems.
Okay.
And that's why things stepped over too, you know what I'm saying? With probably Busy Bone and Juicy J because it's been a feud they had for years.
Oh, okay. I see now. See, I did not know all of this, but I noticed when all of these, you know, rappers get on stage, they have a team, an entourage with them. And I never noticed this entourage that's so thick like this until it comes to the rap side of things, if you notice. Because even with when Jadakiss, when the Locks was up there and they went at Dipset, it was the same situation, if you recall. So I was just going to ask you about the whole having a whole entourage with you. Do you think that's a good thing or you think that could be a negative thing?
It's balance. It go both ways. It could be a good situation or it could be a bad situation. Your entourage can cost you a whole lot of money. You know, they do something, you held accountable for those people. But at the same time, that entourage also could be there to protect you. And then also, sometimes the entourage it go back to, you know, what I was telling you, you want to help people, man. A lot of times, a lot of those people on stage are people, some of them are family and friends, but a lot of times, man, there's people that, you know, they help and they're trying to put in a position to help them get to where they need to be. You know what I'm saying? And you look at MC Hammer back in the day, man, like 100-some people. You know what I'm saying? But ultimately, that made them lose a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? And once he went broke, none of them people could help him get back.
That's true. They said he tried to employ like a lot of people. A lot.
You know what I'm saying? And so that's why when you see him, Hammer had one of the biggest entourages ever. But like I said, it's good and it's bad. You won't be able to touch him. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, also if somebody on his entourage did something, most likely he would be held accountable or he gonna make sure they're straight. So it's like you kicking out money. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I believe in that. Me personally, I don't believe in a big entourage. I rather, you know, you got people like Kevin Gates. You got people like, you know, you look at like Kendrick Lamar. There's a lot of people who don't really travel deep. You know what I'm saying? And I think it was Kendrick who tried to travel solo, but a lot of people don't have a big entourage. Like Young Dolph ain't have no big entourage. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, speaking of that,
and some people say he should have had people around him, but at the end of the day, you know, you got to do what's comfortable for you. I personally feel better by myself. You know, if I would, you know, if I had money like that or I was in that situation, I would want somebody. I would probably just have security. I'm gonna be honest with you. One of the things in rap culture that they don't promote is having security. You know, everybody want to have all these killers and these people on your team. But bro, you get money to pay for security staff. It is what it is. Because we're the only culture that say, "Oh man, he got security. He got security." Now you think Taylor Swift don't walk around with security? You think Beyonce don't got security?
Yes.
You think them country stars don't got security? You think the rock stars don't got security?
Right.
But when it comes to rap music, yeah, you look that crazy. Oh, he running around with security. Like, yeah, why not?
All day, every day.
Not? And that's why a lot of our people end up in messed up situations. A lot of our people get, you know, don't get me wrong, it's crooked people all across the world, so you could have a jacked up security guard that might set you up. Like, that's true.
Yeah.
But on the overall, I'd rather just give me a security staff if I went that route. Just pay for security.
Right. Definitely. Like now what the with the little Dolph thing, because everybody has been talking about little Dolph. Everybody thinks they have pieced together this whole puzzle to this whole scenario about what happened, what should have happened, tracking people down,
Yeah.
all this type of stuff.
Yeah, that's a sad situation. The rest of peace of young Dolph, man. But I mean, at the end of the day, nobody can, tell somebody how they should move or how they should operate.
Yeah.
Unless you in that position.
Mm-hmm.
It's always easy to, say what's going on from the outside. You know what I'm saying?
Always.
It's easy to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if that man wanted to go to the store and buy cookies, or if that man wanted to do something, he got the right to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But people feel like, oh, well, you should do this. The rules. Like that man was in his own neighborhood. People don't even know that he was in his own neighborhood. He won't outside his neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
And don't get me wrong. I know there's an extra bottle. People gonna say, well, yeah, people gonna get you closer to home, and that is true.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Me personally, that's why I'm not really close to people. Envy comes from people that are close to you.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like the people that come that's close to you, they're envious.
Yes.
Strangers just don't hate you. I take the hate all day. You know what I'm saying? That person is close to you they got more hands on. They can get to you a little easier.
Yes.
You right next to them.
Yes. We saw that with who was that? Malcolm X, I believe.
Say it again.
I said we saw that with, wasn't it Malcolm X? When they when they put the hit on Malcolm X.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna be honest. I can't touch on that because I don't know much about it. I'm not a big historian. I know the story, but I can't say one way or the other.
Allegedly, you all. Allegedly, because I still question that narrative myself.
Yeah, allegedly. Because one of my biggest phrases I tell people, man, if you want that, you really can't say too much about it.
This is true.
So I don't like to speak on nothing that I didn't see, and even if I heard it, if I didn't physically see it with my own eyes, I can't speak on it.
It's all speculative at this point, you all. It's all speculation.
Right.
But yeah, so it's just so funny.
A lot of people say, I heard this, I heard that.
I heard,
yeah. Seen this. Yeah, such and such said. By the time it get back to you,
right,
it ain't even close to the right story.
Right. That's what they said. Well, where you heard it? I don't know, but somebody said, yeah, y'all don't even know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
That's how it be. And I think the internet, is a gift and a curse in the same sense, because what I've noticed is everybody with a camera and a microphone thinks that they're a journalist or either a news reporter as soon as something happens. And I don't think everybody should be on the internet. Let's just put it that way.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's a hustle for people. You gotta look at it like this. A lot of people don't like DJ Vlad. A lot of people don't like DJ Academic and those type of things. But a lot of people follow the blueprint of Vlad and Academic.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because they realize that they can make money by doing pretty much the same thing that they did. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
So I can't say I don't never want to say nobody should belong on there, because at the end of the day, most people on there trying to get some money. So if they making money, hooray for them, and they trying to take care of their family. You know what I'm saying? I try to stay away from those type of gossip sites and things like that. And some people I do watch. I do click on Vlad Academics, but I'm saying when it gets to the point where people trying to be detectives and breaking down cases and trying to put all this stuff, I don't pay attention to that.
Now, I will say,
you're at home, you're at your mama house somewhere in the basement, man, sitting in your drawer, just put some shit together. I ain't trying to do that.
I don't know, but some people be really involved. I remember when the Kanika Jenkins case went down. I don't even know if you remember who that is or what that was about. Everybody got on the internet talking about they solved the case and they knew what happened, and they were looking at some.
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this. And I'm coming to the podcast world, so a lot of people don't have nothing going on. They don't got nothing to do but talk. You see what I'm saying? It's just like back in the day when I was in high school, we was on the chat line. I mean, people just got on the chat line to talk and talk about a whole bunch of nothing. It's the same thing in the internet world. people don't have nothing to do, so they get on here and they talk, and whether they tell the truth or they tell a lie, they mislead people with a story. They don't care. You know, they don't think about the ramifications of things that come with that. They just put a story out. They don't care.
That's what I was saying, that I feel like everybody does not belong on the internet, because if you have a microphone and a camera and you just, you know, saying some stuff that's not true, there's no validity to it, you've done no research, you just putting some nonsense out there. But I get what you're saying. Everybody has a right to do what they want.
I'm with you. But at the same time, the people that are listening got to do their research.
True.
You know, it's just like the shit that we was talking when we was coming up, when we talking about health, when we talking about Western civilization, and we talking about slavery and all that. Like, that's the stuff we was talking, that we just went off of that and didn't do no knowledge of stuff and look deeper into what's going on. We wouldn't know what's going on, and we wouldn't know the truth.
Absolutely.
So just because somebody say something, you should just look at one source and be like, oh man, did you see that vlog last night? Such and such did this.
Right.
And you passed it on like it's the truth. Go do your research if you really care about the situation.
Do people really care about the situation? That's the question.
Man, people do not care about the situation. Nobody cares. No. The only time people care is when you die. As long as you're alive, nobody gives a fuck about it.
Oh man, don't.
The most important person for 72 hours. 72 hours, you're gonna be popping.
Don't even get me started.
72 hours, you ain't gonna hear about them no more.
Don't go there. Don't go there. Look, all types of pictures, and like you were saying earlier, all types of stuff come up from out of nowhere. Yeah, I knew him back in the day.
When I die, I'm gonna have pictures from high school floating around. I'm gonna have pictures from people I don't even know. I'm gonna be somewhere in a club, somewhere in a corner. You're gonna see people at festivals, like, oh man, this was him when we went to some festival back, and he's like, bro, I don't know you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like they death vultures. I mean, everybody gonna have something to say. It's simple. I mean, you can look at social media today and look at Dr. Sebi. Man, that was popping. That was one of the most popular things on the internet for 1 month. Sebi died. Poof, faded away. Nipsey Hussle. Boom. The marathon continued. Boom, faded away. You know, none of that stuff stick around, man. It's just a trendy thing. When you pass away, you're gonna post that person, and you're gonna, you know, talk about their highlight reels or whatever. You don't really care about that. You know what I'm saying? It's what, Sebi died 2 years ago?
Sebi died in
like 2 years ago.
No, I think he actually passed away in 2016. Because I just
4 or 5 years ago, either or.
Right.
When he passed, the diet was big. Man, go see if them people still on that diet. See if them people still drinking sea moss. Where they at? I
remember. I just started coming into knowing about it
for maybe 6 months, and I don't hear nobody talking about sea moss. Very few people. You know what I'm saying?
People still on the sea moss, believe it or not. Like, especially in this quote unquote.
No. I'm talking about the masses.
The masses
was talking about sea moss. Then your diehard core fans, your diehard core people, like the people who believe in the diet. Oh yeah, they still buy sea moss, but it reached out to the masses where everybody wanted sea moss. You see what I'm saying? Which everybody wanted sea moss just to fit in, because that was the thing that was being talked about at the time.
Were they really?
So when people die, it gets big, and then they go back down to your family or your true believers. You see what I'm saying? So like right now, when I die, I got my true people who believe in me, that love me, that speak to me on a regular. But when I pass away, that's gonna get magnified. I'm gonna be celebrity status. Like everybody gonna talk about me. Everybody gonna post me. After that 30 days, I'm gonna shrink back down to the only people that truly give a fuck about me is to be my family and friends. You see what I'm saying?
I could see that. Yeah, people are like that. Like, you know, right now everybody's hopping on the whole Dolph situation because he lost his life. Now, before this,
I never seen people. I like Dolph music. I'm a Dolph fan, but I never seen people posting Dolph on Instagram for his quotes or speaking about the positive things that he do. You know, very few people did, like the Dolph fans did, you know what I'm saying? But one nobody, just like with Nipsey. I mean, a lot of people like Nipsey, but he didn't get magnified until he died. Then everybody went and talked about the things that he spoke about. Nipsey, but I'm just saying, like with this world, it's a trendy world. People just follow the trend. That's what I'm saying. The trend, being trendy is normal. They teach you that's normal. Hey man, I'm gonna wear a rest in peace such and such shirt because everybody else got one.
Mm-hmm.
You don't even know that person.
Right.
You know,
I mean,
everybody else went bought a shirt, so like, oh, I don't want to wear my regular shirt. Let me go put them on my shirt too.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, well, who was that person to you? Well, you know, that I just felt bad. You know, it's a sad story. Man, come on, bro.
It goes back to what you said.
You don't wear no rest in peace shirt for your family members.
Mm-hmm.
You ain't got no picture for your grandma. You ain't got no picture for your aunt, your uncles, your sisters. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to like celebrities or whatever everybody else doing, you posted them on your social media.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You don't be posting your family members when they pass away on social media. You don't have a long drawn out story about them. And the thing about celebrities is, like I said, these celebrities, I just never understood the attachment to it because these people don't know you at the end of the day. But people write heartfelt messages towards these people when something either happens to them or if they're invested into like their artist going to jail or whatever the case may be, or something sad happened, but you don't even do that for your family members. You don't do that for people that you truly know. That's why I said this world is crazy. So
do you think it's a false sense of acknowledgement? Like these people, because they see them in social media so much, on TV, on, these social media platforms, they hear them on the radio by way of streaming their music, that they feel that they have some type of attachment to these people. So they develop a bond, and they feel like they have an emotional attachment. So this is why they start posting them.
Yeah, I think a lot of times people live vicariously through other people. Like, it's like you're not happy with your life. And I'm not saying everybody, like I said, this is not for everybody, but a lot of people look at other people and they're happy for their accomplishments. And a lot of times, because they don't have anything to cheer about for themselves. So they are invested in other people's lives and they live through those other people. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Those people become successful, and that person feels like they became successful because they're a supporter of that person. You know what I'm saying? Instead of trying to learn the tools and the tricks and the trades of that person, so you can become successful. You just chill on that person from the sideline while you living miserably for the most part.
I get you. Yeah, like you said, it's the you called it the.
I mean, I like Beyonce. Think about this. Look at Beyonce. I like Beyonce. Yeah, I like Beyonce. But I mean, think about it, like even like the Beehive. You know what I'm saying? The Beehive, they'll go to war for Beyonce. And a lot of them never seen her a day in her life. You know what I'm saying? Like they live through Beyonce, and there's nothing wrong with that if you're a fan. But I never understood that. I never understood those type of things. You know what I'm saying? I don't, like I said, because you wouldn't do that for your mama. You wouldn't do that for your grandma. Somebody said something about your grandma. You ain't gonna go outside and bust a grape in a food fight. You know what I'm saying?
I've literally seen people.
So somebody say something about Beyonce, you ready to go to jail. You're like, come on.
Oh man, look, I've literally seen people in the comment section of YouTube arguing with strangers, talking about you don't know me. Pull up, drop your address. Like they about to bang out for real over somebody that they don't even know. It's crazy.
That's my point. But if somebody say something about somebody in your family, you don't have that same energy.
Right.
And another thing that I want to say too, we grew up in the era where you had to be a certain type of way in real life. You know what I'm saying? You had to really be who you said you are. See, in the internet world, everybody can say pull up because the truth of the matter is you're never going to see that person. You might be talking to somebody in damn Wichita somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Out in Kansas, Texas, you know what I'm saying? Alabama, Arlington. You might be talking to somebody anywhere, and they be like, "Yeah, pull up. Where you at? Drop your location." Yeah. You're not gonna see them people.
Yeah. They know that.
So it's easy to be that way. So it's just a whole bunch of what them boys said back in the day, Twitter fingers, man. You just tapping keys. You know what I'm saying?
Key tappers. They tap dancing on the keyboard.
That's where we at today, man. That is crazy. But like I said, when I grew up, you couldn't just say stuff like that. You couldn't tell somebody pull up, or like when I see you was on site. because you eventually see that person.
Yeah.
And when you see that person, you gotta live that up.
They riding through the neighborhood for real. I said they were riding through the neighborhood for real.
Like, if I catch you in the street, you know what it is. You never gonna see that person.
Right. If that's why they say it's a big if factor in that one. But you're right. You're right. I remember back in the day, and it was just crazy how they used to get into it. From throw your sets up, throw your hood up. These different neighborhoods beefing with each other, and they were doing that stuff. I don't know what they're doing now.
Richmond, it was like that, man. It was just a different time era, but you had to do what you had to do. Like now, you don't have to do that. You can just get on the internet.
Oh no, man. That's crazy. Like, imagine staring at a screen and yelling at the screen. Like, if somebody walked in the house and saw you, no, literally, you sitting in the room looking at your screen, arguing. They like, who you arguing with? Oh no, man! Like,
they put the caps on. They write to you in caps. You know what I'm saying? They make the words big for you and shit. Let you know that they screaming on you.
Oh God. Now I have done that before in an email.
It's a weird world at this moment, but at the end of the day, nothing stays the same. It's all about evolution and change, and you got to get with the program. Certain things I just can't get with. Like, I never become a troll or nothing like that. I never understood even that phrase. Like, that became a new thing, just trolling. You know what I'm saying? But in this time and era, it's a popular thing to do if you want to get notoriety or you want to get a big following. But that's just not my thing. I never came up.
It's a gimmick.
I got different principles and morals when it comes to that. I can't just get on the internet and say something just so some people can view me and follow my page. So
yeah, I mean, everybody.
For nobody to follow me than just to get on there and say some shit just to get people to, clickbait. Even with people with those clickbait pictures on YouTube, I'm not a fan of that. I mean, you putting up false stories just to get somebody to click your shit.
I think
those are desperate measures.
They are very desperate. The clickbait is ridiculous. Like, they sit up there. They use death, like you said. It's a what do you call it? A culture? No.
Oh, the death vultures.
Death vultures.
Yeah.
Death vultures. So they sit there on YouTube and they'll put a picture up, and the title will be, "Oh, sad news about such and such." And they make it seem like the person is on the verge of death or they died, and it's not even like that for real. Like, people have gone too far.
Yeah, that's the way of the world, man. But at the same time, you gotta wing through that. You gotta think. And I don't knock what nobody do or what nobody put in front of you. The internet is the same thing like drugs. You know what I'm saying? Just for somebody to offer you drugs or whatever, that don't mean you gotta take them. You say, nah, no, thank you, I'm good. So when you see those channels and they pop up and they be like, they refer you to another page to say, nah, I'm good. Click off that shit, go to something else.
That's right. Unsubscribe.
You got to be able to walk away from it.
Yeah, definitely unsubscribe for the nonsense, because people don't understand. They get caught up in a virtual reality, and that's all it is. It's a virtual. Like, outside of that, you have
the meta world about to change the game.
Oh God.
Facebook about to have us. I'm not gonna get into it, but Facebook gonna have us like some people in China. They was just living in their house and starving their kids and living in a virtual world. I don't know if you heard those stories.
No, I didn't.
Over in certain parts of China, they had people. They got addicted to the virtual world so much that they were neglecting their kids. Some people chained their kids up. Some people starved them out. Some people. Man, they did all kind of things just so they could stay plugged up to the computer to live in a virtual world.
What? I'm not
you throw away your real life to live in a virtual world. But if you look at what Facebook doing, Facebook is creating a whole virtual world, and in the next, I think, 10 to 15 years, just watch what I said. I'm saying it now. 10 to 15 years, just watch it, this virtual world that Facebook gonna get a world.
That's crazy.
People gonna be stuck. The virtual world is gonna become your real life, and they're going to eventually get to the point where they're doing like 3D images. I mean, sports games already got them. When you get like a basketball game, adding 2K basketball, any of those sports games, you can take a picture and upload yourself on the video game, and it looks similar to you. Facebook will eventually do the same thing, so you'll be able to create yourself and live in a virtual world amongst the society of other people.
Like those virtual goggles on the video games. I don't like those. I don't think they're safe.
Yeah, but the Facebook is going to have it where you can actually do work. You'll be able to work and interact with other
Oh my God.
No different than like you. Yeah, their goal is to have it where you living in a real virtual world. Like you going, I don't know if you're going to a grocery store or nothing, but like you might go to the grocery store, you traveling here, you traveling there, so like you got your messenger on there, you can actually meet up with these people and virtually sit down with a person that looks just like that person.
They just don't want us to live our real lives. That's
well, you know, it's all about the future. And you got to realize when it comes to technology, the goal of technology is to wipe us away anyway.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's on a whole other conversation. But the whole goal of technology, like I had to tell an older guy at my job, he was in his 60s. And I was telling him, I said, bro, you matter to me, but nobody care about old people. And he was like, what you mean? Old people do matter. I said, no, you don't matter. Everything is marketed to the youth, even for me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm almost 39, close to 40. I'll be 39 next month. The world doesn't care about a 39, 40-year-old person. It's catering to the 15-year-olds to the 20-year-olds. You know what I'm saying? And eventually, the more and more technology evolves, it just dumps down.
Yes.
The human experience. Because you got to think about, like, right now, I don't know anybody's phone. I'm going to be honest. I don't remember phone numbers. But when I was in high school, I had a phone book, 200 phone numbers. I could tell you all them numbers back to back to back to back to back. Now I can't tell you nobody. I know my mom number. That's about it. I don't know my phone number. I've been calling my sister. She had the same number for 5 years. I can tell you my sister's phone number.
And the house phone. You remember the house phone? Everybody had one of those. Yeah. And we thought we were doing it when we had the cordless phone. You could walk around the house.
You was big time. Man, I grew up in the country where you had the rotary phone. You press that joint and that just go click, 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 click. You got to pull it down.
Yeah. It's like a little circle. Yeah. You put your finger in there.
Yeah, I had the circle joint. Now you put your finger and then you pull it down.
Yeah. I remember those. So look.
Yeah, but when you got the cordless phone on, you was big shit.
Yeah, for real. You could hang your phone up on the wall. Yeah, it's crazy though what it has come to. But yeah, like
that's all. That's the purpose of technology. Technology is good and it's bad, but ultimately, like I tell people, if you don't have some kind of know-how or some kind of hustle, or you're not doing something in your life that could be like really useful, like let's just say like a doctor or a lawyer or something of that sort, like minimum wage jobs or like small time shit like that. Eventually, that shit gonna get replaced.
Of
course.
What I'm saying?
There could be a lot of people that's not going to have any income. You know, people think that, I mean, you look at places like China, they're doing it now. Like, let's just say McDonald's. You go to McDonald's here, you know, you got a 5-person, 10-person staff. You know, I don't know how many people work that don't go to, you know, really fast food places, but you got a nice little staff there. You know what I'm saying? You go to China, you go to McDonald's, man, it's 1 to 2 people working there. And everything else is automated. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. They got robots taking over everything now. So they've already,
So you go to China, you order from McDonald's, you put your order in, a dude in the back make your stuff, the computer do everything, and they throw your shit up in a fucking conveyor belt, and the conveyor belt drops that shit off to you, and you keep it moving.
Yeah. That's crazy. Like, I mean, they got, look, did you see, because I know you do research a lot. Did you see where the police officers, the police robots they got going on out here?
Oh yeah, but see, I must never sent it to you. I was on to the police robots. I was on because I put it on here. It's DARPA. You know what I'm saying? Let me make sure I spell it right so I can tell people. I think it's DARPA.com. DARPA is a top robotic company. I've been looking at them, man, for like going on 14 years, and those the guy at my job that took me off to them. But yeah, those robots been around. If you go to the DARPA website, you can see, I mean, stuff that's way like 10 times more advanced than those dogs. You know what I'm saying? And they've been making those things. That's why I said we've been being on the verge of being replaced. You know what I'm saying? They're not gonna need real dogs. You know what I'm saying? They're not gonna need people. You know, they got robots that can do the same thing that people can do.
Yeah. I saw.
As far as like even with police officers, they got robots. They actually built RoboCop. It's an actual real RoboCop. It's not out right now. They have a RoboCop, a robot, and he can do everything. He can open doors. He can walk. He's a metal robot, steel robot.
I saw one pulling, like they know how to pull you over and give you a ticket. I'm about to go.
Yeah, I seen something like that. I don't know if that one was real, but I did see that.
Yeah.
They got a lot of stuff, man. You go to DARPA.com.
I'm about to go there now. DARPA.
Wicked.
It's
Hold on, let
crazy.
me check it one more time.
DARPA. I have heard of DARPA though. I just never really looked into it, but I knew it was some craziness like that. Defense Advanced Research Project Agency. That's what DARPA stands for, y'all.
Right.
So creating breakthrough technologies and capabilities for national security. There they go with that word again.
That's what I'm saying. But if they've been around, like I said, guy at my job told me about DARPA. You know, and that's why I say you got to talk to everybody. See, the thing about it is we get so caught by people, whether it's race and, you know, things like that. We're like, oh, we don't do it. Like, I learned so much from, like, different people at the job. I wouldn't have learned nothing about DARPA. I don't know nobody who talk about shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
And man, this white guy was talking at work, and he was like, what do you think about this? And I'm like, bro, what the hell are you talking about?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, he was like, man, you never heard? I'm like, nah, I've never. That shit don't come on the news. You only know about DARPA if somebody tell you about it. You know, or if that's what you're looking up.
Right.
That's not something that will come on the news. But when you read and you see what they doing, man, it get a little freaky out here. But nobody talk about it because if you really knew what was going on, the world would get freaked out.
Absolutely, man.
You know, they even want to put your consciousness into these robots. And DARPA, they spoke on those things on their website. It's trying to put consciousness into the robot. And the meta world was talking about doing the same thing, putting your consciousness into the virtual world.
Biomanufacturing coming soon to a galaxy near you. This was November 22nd, 2021, y'all.
That's what I'm telling you. And they've been doing it for years. You never hear about them. So, I mean,
oh God.
I don't really look at it too much no more. Like once I find out what's going on, I'm like, all right, cool. I don't really keep up on it, but I know years ago I was big on it.
Yeah.
Like, there's some crazy shit going on, and man, like I said, go on YouTube and look at that robot, and then like I said, just read the website. But they got some shit out here that's freaky. They got some shit. So the shit that people talking about as far as the eye in the sky, or you being recorded, or your camera's watching you, man, that's the light work. That's the light work. Like that's nothing compared to what they got. You know what I'm saying?
Right. This is crazy, man.
Yeah, people talk about the obvious, you know. Oh yeah, you gotta watch them carrying phones. You gotta watch that. You talk about phones, man. Man, you got robots that can communicate with each other. You know, through Bluetooth. You know what I'm saying? Through airwaves. Two robots talking to each other and they not physically talking. And they ready to come fuck you up.
Man, it's crazy.
They about to come inside your house right now and you talking about a camera phone.
With all this craziness, Mr. Hollywood Spryte, I want to ask you, what words of advice would you give to the people out there with all this stuff that's going on? What would you tell them to focus on the most?
That's a good question. I'm gonna be honest with you. Don't get too high. Don't get too low. Study long, study wrong. So what I mean by that is, man, just live life, man. You gotta find your purpose in life, and you only here to live human experience. The things that are going on in the world, it ain't nothing you can do about that to change that. You see what I'm saying? So for me, I don't focus on things I can't change. I don't complain about things I can't change. I don't complain about the presidency. I can't change that. So, and some people want to say, oh, if everybody thought like that, whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. Man, show me where the change ever came from. Y'all vote every year. You know, and don't get me wrong, I was taught to vote. I voted in the beginning until I realized it's a big scam.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You giving me the better of the two evils. You giving me two options, and I don't like neither option.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So it's like at the end of the day, just stay true to yourself and find peace within inside of yourself. Because you can live in a society and not live in a society, if you know what I'm saying. I live in the world, but I don't live in the world.
Yeah. So I get it.
Just stay true to yourself and don't take in too much. Don't get too caught up, because you can see, and I'm not gonna say the word, but you know what's been going on for the past few years. You see how that alters people's lives. It alters their reality. People were scared to live. People were scared to move around. They scared to death.
Yeah.
You know, you can't be like that. You know what I'm saying? You gotta find balance. Man, I was outside. I was going to work. I was doing everything. I kept telling people, I'm like, yo, I'm not saying nothing is happening in the world around us, but I was still living. But I know some people who stopped living in those 2 years, you know, and still they haven't got back to living yet. They're afraid. And fear controls all.
Yeah, it does. Those are excellent words of advice. And my sentiments are the same. I would say basically live out your life's purpose. That's what's going to give you the most fulfillment. You were put here for a reason with a divine purpose. Let nothing stop you from walking in your divinity, because everybody came here with a mission. And the worst thing that could happen.
We all going to leave. We all going to come and we all going to leave. And like I said, think about this. This tragedy happened every second. Since we've been doing this podcast, it's tragedy and chaos going on around us. It's not affecting me and you right now. You know why? Because we don't know about it.
We're not tuned in.
But we do know that it's going on. It's a fact right now of chaos and drama or murder and mayhem. It's going on right now as we speak. You know what I'm saying? If you sit there every day of your life and you just focus on negative and what's going on in the world, man, you will be a miserable person, man. Like it's gonna tell you, it's gonna eat you alive on the inside. So I don't really think about things that don't affect me. And some people can say, well, that's shallow and that's this, and you should. But at the end of the day, why think about something that I can't change?
That's true.
Why should I fill my mind up with thoughts that I can't do nothing about?
Absolutely. That's another reason why the news reports all the stuff that it reports to us, because it wants to inundate our minds so much to the point where we're scared to go outside because we're going to get shot. We're going to get robbed. We're going to get stabbed. We can't go here. We can't do that. Nobody can live that way. That's not even normal.
The prime reason. Everything you just said is the prime reason I haven't watched the news in over. It might be 10 years for me now.
That's a long time.
I don't watch the news. You know what I'm saying? I watch anything before I watch the news. I don't care about the news. And even when it comes to weather, everybody's like, you don't check the weather? I'm like, nah, I don't check the weather. I go outside. It's like, I remember my granddad could tell the weather. And when I was younger, I was like, yo, that's dope. Like, I wonder how these old people know that. But if you spend time outside in nature, if one of my phrases is on my podcast, unplug to reconnect. If you step away from technology, and you step away from all of the foolishness and step away from your job and you just step outside and spend time in nature, you know when it's going to rain. You know when, like, you can feel it in the air. You can feel rain. You can smell rain. You know what I'm saying? You can tell when it's going to snow.
Right.
You know, I don't have to look at the weather to know that. Now, have I got, caught off guard sometimes? Yeah. I mean, shit, the meteorologist is wrong 50% of the time, so I'm wrong sometimes. But this dude's job is to tell you what the weather's going to be, and he don't get it right.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what I'm watching that for?
The animals know. You pay attention to them.
And the animals get out of dodge. But when the storm's coming, pay attention to the animals. They getting out of dodge. They out of dodge, man, shit. A day before the damn storm comes.
They do, though. They do. Like, they go find shelter. And I mean, horses, dogs, cows, the birds, they know where to fly. But we got it
too, though. But we got the same thing that they got.
Yeah.
It's what you said earlier. We not tuned in.
Yeah.
We tuned into technology, and technology is to take us away from our senses.
Right, because it's artificial.
The only sense that we pay attention to is smell and taste and touch. We don't really pay attention to hearing. People, you hear shit outside all the time, but most of the time people pay attention to what's in their phone. They don't hear what's going on. Most of the time they don't see what's going on. They don't pay attention to nothing. They taste food, they touch things, and they smell. That's the only senses we use. But if you go outside and you really start being in nature, say you go jog and you go working out, and you spend hours outside, you can tell what's going on by the weather.
Spend more time with nature, you all. Okay, and those are the words of Mr. Hollywood Spryte himself, you all. And again, we want to thank you.
Gotta get to nature, man. Nature is where it's at.
Yeah.
And nature and finding peace and working out. You know what I'm saying? And I think as far as that culture, I'm gonna just speak on this.
Sure.
I think more of us need to work out. And the reason I say that is because even for myself, I struggle with things in my life, whether it was depression or anger issues or certain things like that. But I realized when you get physical and you're working out and you get that adrenaline going with this push-ups, sit-ups, jogging, or whatever the case may be. I used to take MMA classes. All of those things are stress relievers, and a lot of times in the Black community, we don't have ways to release that stress. So we use that stress as violence.
Yes.
And we inflict that pain upon others. But a lot of times people don't know that you start eating a little bit better. You know what I'm saying? Because if you eat wrong, you're going to feel miserable. And I'm not telling people to go vegan or telling people to do it. I just do better. Eat a little bit better than what you were doing. Because most of us eat bad. And when you eat bad, you feel bad. Like, that's just a fact.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But if you start eating better and you start treating your body better, you'll realize life around you gets a little bit better. And that's a fact.
But I wonder what has caused the melanated culture to be less in tune with their bodies. Have you noticed that? Like, for some reason, we all like to get together around food. Food is at every event that we like. Take, for instance, funerals. Chicken is a big topic of discussion. When we do like family gatherings, is always centered around food. Like family reunions, food, barbecue, food. Food. We love food as melanated people. What does that come from?
To be honest with you, I think it's a. So when we say melanated, I look at melanated people across the globe. I look at that like as far as here, I think it's an American thing. You know what I'm saying? Because I know a lot of people, melanated people, that don't eat like that. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, because we grew up on the barbecue,
and like I said, it comes from that slavery and all of that. Like we embrace things that we really shouldn't embrace. I mean, it's nothing. I'm gonna be honest. I ate soul food my whole life. My grandmother made it. My mom made it, and but I also know that it's some of the non-healthiest, non-good for you like food. It is. I love candy yams. Man, ain't nothing but a bag of sugar. You know what I'm saying? Eating a bag of sugar.
Barbecue ribs.
You got some yams chopped up with 2 bags of sugar.
Yeah.
You can drink that and you can put some sugar and some water and it tastes the same.
Yeah, but you're right. Like, yeah, we got to focus more, y'all. We got to take care of our temple. Your body, is your temple. It truly is. And
that's a fact.
Yeah, and then when you do take care of your body, you do get mental clarity and spiritual clarity as well. And emotionally, you do feel better. It's true. So I wholeheartedly agree.
Other cultures are in tune to that. Like, that's what I'm saying. Because when I really got on health, I had this. It was the Indian doctor. You know what I'm saying? I went to him for a few little issues, and he gave me a whole meal plan. He was like, "Oh, you got to stop doing this." And I looked at him crazy at first, but I listened to what he said, and I started feeling a lot better. And like I said, I started feeling better as well. You know what I'm saying? Because what you put in your body is what you're gonna get out of your body. So that helped me out a lot. I had a couple of little things going on health wise, and that changed my whole life. But then I started picking up, calisthenics and working out more, and I realized that changed me a lot. You know what I'm saying? And it gave me mental clarity, and that's a lot of things that I'm gonna talk about on my podcast. It's more so about mental clarity and just overcoming struggles. But I feel like if more people in that community take care of their body, eat a little bit better, and just work out a few times a week, man, 2 to 3 times a week. I'm telling you, the stress levels will go down, and I believe that it will help us a lot. A lot of people don't know how to deal with the anger. A lot of people don't know how to deal with frustrations and those things. But when you work out, you release all of that.
You do.
So whether even if you got to take self-defense classes, you got to take dance classes, whatever. And take your class, spend that $20, $50, and you'll realize in 30 days how much you feel better.
Speaking of that, you all, I am very disappointed that my dance class was canceled this evening. Look, I went out there for no reason. Drove out there and they were gone. But look, when I started taking my dance class, you all, I was going through it. We all go through things, but I felt better. Like, I don't know, it's something about the music and just your body moving, that kinetic energy and that kundalini energy. When you start doing things that you really enjoy in life, you don't care about the worries of the world. So just listen to Hollywood, Spryte. He definitely knows what he's talking about, you all. I look so forward to your podcast.
I'm gonna tell you the biggest thing that we don't do that I feel like we should do, and it's crazy because I heard Kevin Gates speak about this recently too. It's like for some reason, us as, melanated people, black people, whatever people want to call themselves, you know what I'm saying? I don't get into the political aspect of, have people, because some people don't want to be called certain things, and it is what it is. But we know what we're talking about when we say it.
Right.
In our culture, in the hip hop culture, we don't, for some reason, it's joked upon or whatever. Like, one of the things that I took that at first I was kind of skeptic about was yoga. Man, I love yoga. Yoga is one of the best stress relievers. Yoga and meditation is one of the best things that you can do under the sun. But just for us, we just have a certain type of thing like, oh, what, you take yoga? Or you know what I'm saying? It's weird. You know what I'm saying? But any person who have been through something or going through something, they take yoga and meditate, they'll tell you, man, like, you find it's that peace. You find that peace and tranquility. You know what I'm saying?
I want to ask you, where do you think that negative stigma comes from people practicing yoga?
Oh man, it's just man, it's negative stigma all through our culture, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's not just yoga. It's anything, doing anything outside of whatever was quote unquote taught to be the norm. You know what I'm saying? You gotta walk this type of line, and if you step outside of that line, like I told you earlier, you're a weirdo.
Right, that's true.
You can work out, but you can't do yoga. You can box, but you know what I'm saying? But then when you look at sports athletes, you're like, oh, your top football player did yoga. Your top boxer did yoga. You know, a lot of your dancers do yoga.
Okay.
But people who don't know, they don't know because it's not promoted. You know what I'm saying? Your favorite rapper not telling you to go do yoga.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Man, we could get so further deep into this, and we are going to have many more discussions, you all. I have thoroughly enjoyed this conversation, and I look forward to your podcast. Make sure y'all check them out. Again, that is Hollywood Spryte from Veracity ExchangeTV. Make sure you follow the channel. VETV, y'all.
I enjoyed it, man, and we definitely gonna do it again. And I love to have you on my show. And I love to interview you. You know, we got a lot to talk about.
Oh, wow.
I come on anytime you want me on here, anytime, any place. And I'll pull up.
Oh, thank you.
I'm like Candyman.
I appreciate you. Well, I'd certainly look forward to speaking with you on your channel as well. All right, y'all, we're going to be signing out. I hope you have enjoyed this show, and we look forward. Yeah, we look forward to him. So anyway, we're going to close out with a little commercial, y'all, and we'll be back next time. Y'all stay blessed. Shout out to all of you out there.